going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome back to the Fitcho Career. It is round number 11, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, in the last couple of days, F1 2016 was announced, and it looks brilliant. I am super hyped for the game, but it looks like it's going to be about a mid-August release date. They say late summer, and I saw a leak that it's around the 16th of August or something in America, I believe. So middle of August is about when the game is going to come out, and what that means is I'm probably not going to be able to get the second season of this career mode done. So I think I'm just going to finish this first season, and that'll be it for the Fitcho Career, unfortunately, because I don't want to start a season that I can't really finish. But on a positive note, in about 3 weeks' time, school holidays are starting, so hopefully I'll be able to sit down with Jason and record some co-ops and get that done, hopefully. So there'll be a few more F1 2015 videos that won't be the Fitcho Career coming up to make up for the lack of that. I did want to do 2 seasons, but the timing is just not going to work. And like I said, I don't want to start a season I cannot finish. But if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to smash that like button. And if you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by my birthday, the 14th of July. We're about 60 off, and we need in about 45 days or something, I believe, is the time of recording this. So I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me try and reach that goal. But here we are in Hungary, the 11th round of the championship. Now, this track should be a little bit better for us. It's not that power orientated, but our aero kit isn't that great, and I'm going to have to run a really low downforce setup. I think I chucked on the setup I ran in the Rosberg career, and it felt really good to drive. It was high wings, but I went into a quick race, and I was slaughtered down the straight. They would get past me, and then more, like, they were pretty much hitting the apex of turn 1 before I was braking when I was ahead coming out of the last corner, and that was without DRS. So I'm going to have to run a really low downforce setup. I think I haven't actually worked on the setup yet. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be tricky getting around the corners, but we're going to have to run a very low downforce setup so we don't get completely mugged off down the straight, because that's what it's looking like. But I'm going to go work on the setup, get this practice session done, and I'll see you guys in quali. So we are about to start our first flying lap here in qualifying. Now, after playing around with the setup for a good half hour in practice, I've pretty much ended up with the same setup I ran in the Rosberg career. Well, in fact, it is the exact same setup. I tried running a lot lower wings and stuff, but the front end was just so unresponsive, and I was having to force the car into the corners, and it was absolutely destroying the front tires. So it wasn't really working, and I was also slower than John-Eric Vergne with that setup, so I kept adding wing until I actually got faster to him, to a point where the car felt quite nice, and I pretty much ended up back with this exact setup. But on the plus side, this setup feels really great to drive through the corners. The front end is really responsive. It's a pleasure to drive right now, this car, but it's going to be a shocker in a straight line, so we'll have to wait and see how bad it's actually going to be in the race. But I'm not optimistic about our straight line speed. But through the corners, the car feels brilliant. Okay, so we've qualified in the top 10. To be honest, I'm quite happy with that. That was my sort of goal for this qualifying session, top 10. Because when this isn't one of my good tracks, and this car isn't that great, especially with the straight line deficit we've got, in the fact that running low downforce makes us a pig through the corners. I've sort of had to go for the high downforce crap in a straight line option, because it was the best option, really. I tried a lot of different things. But top 10, I'm quite happy with that. I couldn't go any quicker than that, really. I just out-qualified Kevin Magnussen by 0.002 of a second. That's how close it was between me and Kevin Magnussen to get that last spot in the top 10. But we out-qualify our teammate, who's down in 15th. We are over a second quicker than him, so that is always a good sign. Let's jump into this Hungarian Grand Prix, see if we can get a nice points finish in this race. That is going to be the target. Let's go. Okay, here we are on the grid. Let's have a look at the race strategy. It looks like it's going to be a 3-stop race. Lap 8 or 9 for options, then 17 or 18 for options, then 26 or 27 for primes, then going to the end for the 35-lap Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's get into the race. Here we go, the Hungarian Grand Prix. 4 lights, 5 lights, lights out, and away we go. We didn't get too much wheel spin off the line. I managed to control it reasonably well, but like any F1 2015 start, we have lost many places. Oh, come on, Kevin. What was that? It's okay. We got back past Perez, but Hulkenberg has snuck through, but we're still in 10th, so we haven't actually lost any places. We were 4 wide essentially going to that first turn, and I was just the unlucky one that almost got spun around there, but the other 2 on the outside did get pushed quite wide. Hulkenberg, the opportunistic German, who was the one that actually made it 4 wide, snuck through and got all 3 of us. Can we look up the inside of the chicane on Hulkenberg? Yes, we can. He's spun. I tried to give him space, but that chicane is very tight, and I thought he could just jump over the curbs a bit, but no, he decided to spin instead. Okay, we've closed right up on the back of Jenson Button, and we are now within DRS. It's just going to be tricky to find a way past JB, as we are quite slow in a straight line, but with the aid of DRS and Slipstream, we might be okay. We'll have to wait and see next time round. We're all over Jenson's gearbox. Can we look one up the inside here? No. We might wait to the straight when we have the aid of DRS. I don't really want to try a risky move, because if I break an end plate or something around here, I'm really going to struggle, especially as I'm not that quick here in the first place. So I want to be a bit more careful than I normally am here today. But here we go, out of the final corner, open the DRS. Oh my. Look at that. He's just pulling away from us. Maybe down this next DRS straight. No, doesn't look like this is going to work either. This is going to be really interesting to get past Jenson, as he has a bit of a lockup on the front left as we head into turn 2. It's going to be difficult to find our way past him. I might have to try something a bit more risky. I don't really want to, but I might have to. You can see down the straight we are really quite slow, even with Slipstream and DRS. It wasn't helping, so might have to get a bit creative. Come on, did we get a good drive out of that corner? Not a good enough drive. I'm all over his gearbox, but I just can't find a way past right now. Oh! We get a bit of a switch back there. He's still on our inside as we head into the final turn. We're going to try and get a better drive than him as we were on the racing line. But look at that. DRS. And he is absolutely gone. This is going to be really tricky. We're going to have to use the strategy to our advantage here, I think. It's one of the only ways we're actually going to get past him. Like, look, we're close enough to see the wear on his rear tires as he pulls off into the pit lane. That looks like a rather early stop to me. It's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out. I'm pretty sure I'm meant to be pitting in lap 8. Should I pit this next lap and cover him? I'm not sure. Perez has caught us so much while we're battling with Button. We'll see how the tires go. I kind of want to stick to our original strategy if the tire life allows it. But that is 2 laps earlier than our strategy. He must be going for an extra stop or something as we make a bit of a mistake under the brakes. But it's going to be interesting to see how this race plays out now, because we want to beat Button. That's who we're going to be racing today. But it looks like he's almost on a 4-stop strategy, which seems quite odd, or he's just going to go very long on the final stint there. I'm really not too sure what he's up to. It'll be interesting to see as the race unfolds. Here goes Perez up our inside. We try and hang it right around his outside at turn 1. He squeezes us pretty much right off the racetrack. But we hold our ground there. We're going way too deep. Wait, oh, Lewis Hamilton, he's already pitted. And then passed us. I have no idea what happened there. I didn't even realize Perez had his nose up my inside of turn 3 there. That was very odd. I saw the arrow pretty much as it was too late, like it just appeared. That was very peculiar. We are going to be pitting this lap, and that little battle with Perez and Hamilton has not helped our cause in beating Jenson Button whatsoever. End of lap 8, and we come into the pit lane as there's Rosberg, Ricciardo, and Hamilton was in front of them. So it looks like Ricciardo's actually in between the Mercedes at the moment, which is quite interesting. Well, I'm not too sure what happened there with Hamilton and Perez. I went a bit deep. I ran him wide, but I didn't think he was still there. It looks like it was like almost as like the arrow, the proximity arrow just appeared at the last second, and then I'm like shit, and then felt contact the next second. I had my foot literally flat. That was stupid. I wasn't paying enough attention there. Thankfully the game only gave me a warning for that, even though I deserve a penalty. Sutil, what are you doing? Okay. Sutil's into the pits, and so is Maldonado, who looks like he's held up Jenson Button a little bit. Because there is JB, he's not that far ahead of us. He had a 2-lap undercut. I thought he would have got a little bit further away from us, especially with the incidents we had. But I think Pasta has helped us out a little bit here. But now we're just got to try and close down Jenson. And Jenson Button peels off into the pit lane. We had just gotten to DRS range on the previous lap. So he's stopping end of lap 15 and we're stopping the end of lap 17. So we're doing another 2 laps. So it looks like he's on a similar strategy to me, except he's pitting 2 laps earlier than I am each time. So he's going to be going 2 laps longer in that final stint. That could work to our advantage come the end of the race. But it's going to be very difficult to get past him because we're so slow in a straight line, and once we get a move done, he's just going to come right back past us. And there goes Felipe Massa, who has made his 2nd stop, I believe. So we're not actually racing him, so I didn't really even try to fight him. Not that I really could there. He's just so fast in a straight line, that Williams, compared to our Toro Rosso. And the end of lap 17, and we are back in the pit lane for our 2nd stop. And it looks like we're actually going a lot longer than other cars. Like, a lot of cars seem to be pitting a similar time to Jenson Button, sort of 2 laps before we do. So it looks like come end of the race, we're going to be on the fresher tyres, and that could play to our advantage. Oh no, here comes Kimi. We're going to go back up his inside. This probably isn't the best idea to be getting into a fight right now. Jenson Button has just pitted on that lap, I think, so we've got another this lap and then 1 more until we pit. So we're going to push quite hard, and then we're going to have fresh rubber, or fresher rubber, at the end of the race, which should be good. But let's just hope he doesn't get too much of an advantage out of the undercut and we don't get held up by this Kimi Räikkönen. I think that was a Williams I saw behind him battling. Onto the straight we go, and watch me get absolutely mugged off by Räikkönen. And Bottas will probably get us as well. Oh, not quite. Here we go, we're going to peel off into the pit lane, and so is Kimi Räikkönen, so we might actually be racing the Finn towards the end of this race. But this should be our final stop. Come in and put some primes on and go to the end. Where is Jenson Button? That is the question. I think that's him coming onto the straight now if you look at the mini-map. And just gone past. I think that was Jenson, so we're going to be a fair way behind him. But we're right on the back of Kimi Räikkönen, so we might actually be racing a Ferrari at the end of this race. Hopefully our teammate can hold up Räikkönen a bit and back him into us. Come on, Jeb, you can do it. Just keep him behind you. Slow him down as much as you can. Let me get onto the back of him. We are all over the back of our teammate. Just show him a bit of a nose into the third last corner. He has got the exact same engine as us, so it shouldn't be too bad down the straight. With the aid of DRS and a bit of a slipstream, hopefully we get a better drive off the final corner as well, because I think we have much newer tyres than Jev. But he is pulling away from us. He's running a lower downforce setup than we are, and he's actually getting away from us a little bit. We are so close to him now. Come on. He's going to have DRS as well off Grosjean. Just look at the straight line difference. I'm running way too much wing. It's really frustrating. But if I was running any less wing, I would have been really struggling through the corners and for tyre life. It's tricky. It's hard to find a balance. Maybe we have to launch one up. He's inside. That's what we're going to do. We had a bit of a run. Not enough of a run there. We tried it. Can we try and sneak a nose up inside on the exit there? But now we are going to be on the outside for the final turn. Can we hang it right around his outside? No, we can't. Oh, we've got a better run through 4. Can we look at the inside of 5? He's not giving us much space. No, we can't get the move done there. What about into the chicane? No, we're too far back. This is the section where we are quicker. Through this tight middle sector, but there's nowhere to pass in this sector. Like, we're a lot quicker. We even gave him a little touch up there. But we can't get a move done. The inside of the third last corner again. He's still on our outside. Can we look up the inside of the penultimate corner? We make a little bit of contact. I can't get the move done there either. Far out. Getting the slipstream. Starting the penultimate lap now. Come on, we have to beat John Eric here. Like, Grosjean's keeping up with us, for fuck's sake. He's slowing me down so much where I just can't get past him because of the straight line deficit. We get a much better run through 4 again up the inside of 5. We're having to take to the grass a bit as he's really not giving us much space, and I've squeezed him out a bit too much on the exit. We're not close enough into the chicane. Oh, thought there was a bigger gap there. I didn't break any wing, but we're now on the inside for this next corner. And we get the move done. He's been taken out by Romain Grosjean. That was not ideal. I wanted John Eric to finish just behind us. We wanted a good team finish as well. But Romain has gone and taken him out. I was a bit argy-bargy with the move. But I was having to get very creative. And that was the one part of the track I was quicker. And that was pretty much my only opportunity to overtake if it wasn't for the dive one to like the third last corner. Like I had done on the 2 previous laps, which just didn't work. So I had to get opportunistic. As Lewis Hamilton wins the race and Romain Grosjean unlaps himself on me. And out of the final corner we come to finish in 10th place and get a singular point. That is okay. To be honest, I didn't expect that much more here at the Hungaroring. It's not one of my best tracks, and I knew it would be tricky in this car because it has a reasonably long straight, but you need a higher aero setup to get through that middle sector. So I knew it was going to be tricky with the setup, and I tried different things. I tried wings as low as about 3.3, and it was just a shocker through the majority of the lap. I was a lot slower than Vern, and then I kept adding wings slowly, one by one, and then the only time I was actually ever faster than it was when I was using that setup in practice, when I had, I think, 11.9 wings. That's what I got up to in the end, which is exactly the same as what I ran in the Rosberg career, but we were just a shocker down the straight. I think I set the car up too orientated towards lap time, not so much racing. But it's okay. 10th place. I didn't expect that much more. We ended up 15 seconds or something off Jenson Button, who looks like he was actually battling with Kimi Räikkönen there in the end. But Lewis Hamilton has won here in Hungary from Nico Rosberg. Daniil Ricciardo taking the final step on the podium. And then you got Sebastian Vettel, Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Jenson Button, Kimi Räikkönen, and then us rounding out the points. Then outside the points we have John-Eric Vergne, Sergio Perez, Esteban Gutierrez, Kevin Magnussen, Jules Bianchi, Nico Hülkenberg, Pastor Maldonado, Adrian Sutil, Kamui Kobayashi, Romain Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson, and Max Chilton. And Romain Grosjean has two 5-second penalties, adding up to 10 seconds. Deservedly so for taking out our teammate there in the dying laps. But everyone finished the race, surprisingly enough. Now let's have a look at the championship standings. We're exactly where we were before. We are sat in 9th place. We are almost that's 17 points off Felipe Massa in front of us, and a long way ahead of Jenson Button behind us. So this is probably where we're going to finish in the championship, unless we get some really, really strong performances and the Williams start to really struggle. But it's very close at the front of the field with Lewis Hamilton leading Nico Rosberg by 2 points. Very close. It would be cool to see if we were that close in real life. We were looking a little bit further down. Our teammates in 13th, splitting the Force Indias, who have 12, 11, and 10 points. That's where we thought we'd battle at the start of the season. But once we went to Europe, things picked up for us. As you can see, we've jumped way ahead of them. We've got like 60 more points than who we thought would be racing at the start of the season. We have a look at the constructors. We are in 5th. We are ahead of McLaren by about 18 points. We are pretty much 100 points off Ferrari. So unless McLaren start to pick up their game or we start to fall apart, we'll probably be finishing about 5th in the championship. But that is all for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.